Over the years, the UAE tourism authorities have taken so many initiatives to promote the travel and tourism industry in the region. In today's video, I'll be talking about some new UAE entry visas rules and residence permits. My name is Amy. If you're seeing me for the first time, please consider subscribing to my channel for more informative videos. Thank you. So, UAE recently launched 5-year multiple entry tourist visas to ensure the quality of tourism services. Some major improvements for these entry visas include facilitating entry requirements for all visa types. Therefore, all entry visas will now be available for single or multiple entries, and it will be valid for 60 days from the day it was issued. Let's take a look at UAE Tourist Visa. Apart from the regular tourist visa sponsored by the tourism establishment in the UAE, a 5-year multi-entry tourist visa was introduced. This visa helps someone to stay in the UAE for a period of 90 days, and it can also be extended for another 90 days, provided the person's stay didn't exceed 180 days in a year. You don't need to get a sponsor or a host before you can apply for this visa. The only requirement for one to be eligible for this type of visa is to have $4,000 in your account as a closing balance. This should be around 14,700 EAD or its equivalent in other foreign currencies during the last 6 months before you submit your application. The second visa is UAE Job Exploration Entry Visa. Job Exploration Entry Visa was introduced mainly to attract young talent and skilled professionals to come into the UAE to explore job opportunities that are available in the country. You don't need a sponsor or a host before you can apply for this visa if you meet the following requirements. Number 1, if the applicant is classified in the first, second, or third skill level based on the Ministry of Human Resources and Emiratisation. The second requirement is if the applicant graduated from one of the 500 universities in the world. And the third requirement is if the applicant has a minimum educational level of BSc or its equivalent. The third type of visa is UAE Job Visa. This visa is for those who are seeking for jobs in UAE. They can come into the country to explore different types of job opportunities in UAE. You don't need a host or a sponsor before you can apply for this visa. This visa can also be granted to fresh graduates, students who recently graduated from the best 500 universities in the world, as categorized under the first, second, and third skill level based on the Ministry of Human Resources and Emiratisation. The fourth visa is entry permit for a temporary work mission. Visitors who have a temporary work assignment like probation testing and project-based mission and are sponsored by the employer can apply for the entry permit for a temporary work mission. Some of the requirements include number 1, a temporary work contract or a letter from the employer classifying the purpose of your visit. The second requirement is proof of health fitness to work. And the third one is entry permit for study and training. The permit for study and training is primarily intended for those attending training and study courses or participating in internship programs. The sponsor for this type of permit can be universities or research institutions licensed in the country or private entities. You can also get a letter from the entity classifying, details of the study training or internship program and its duration. The fifth type of visa is UAE Business Entry Visa. This business entry visa allows investors and entrepreneurs to come into the UAE and explore different types of business and investment opportunities that are available in the country. This visa offers easy processes without the requirement of a host or a sponsor. The sixth one is UAE entry permit to visit relatives or friends. A visitor can apply for the entry permit to visit friends and relatives if they are a relative or a friend of a UAE citizen or resident. And this type of visa does not require a sponsor or a host. The seventh one is UAE Family Visa. Based on the family visa rule in the UAE, parents could earlier sponsor their children who were under 18 years. But at the moment, parents can sponsor their male children until they are age of 25. Disabled children can also get parent sponsorship under a special permit, and unmarried females can be sponsored for an indefinite time. The eighth type of visa is golden residence. The golden residence scheme is to simplify the eligibility criteria and expand the categories of beneficiaries. This long-term year residence is granted to investors, entrepreneurs, exceptional talent, science and professionals, outstanding students and graduates, humanitarian pioneers, and frontline heroes. The amendment allows the golden residence holder to sponsor his or her family members, including spouse and children, regardless of their age, and also to sponsor support services like domestic laborers without limiting their number. Also keep in mind that there is no restriction related to the maximum duration of your stay outside the UAE in order to keep the golden residence valid. There are also other benefits for family members that allow them to stay in the UAE. For example, the death of the original holder of the golden residence until the end of their permit duration. The ninth one is golden residence for professionals. This category of visa is to attract highly skilled workers with educational qualifications and professional experience in all disciplines such as medicine, sciences and engineering, information technology, business and administration, education, law, culture and social sciences. The requirements are: applicants should have a valid employment contract in the UAE, and it should be classified in the first or second occupational level as per the Ministry of Human Resources and Emiratisation classification, which is aligned with the International Standard of Classification of Occupations by the International Labour Organization. The next one is green residence for skilled employee. This new visa provides a 5-year residency for skilled employees without the use of a sponsor or an employer. The applicant should have a valid employment contract, and it should be classified in the first, second, or third occupational level as per the Ministry of Human Resources and Emiratisation. The minimum education level must be a bachelor's degree or equivalent, and the salary should not be less than 15,000 AED. The last but not the least is green residence for freelancing and self-employment. In line with the growing flexible work models, this visa provides a 5-year residency for freelancers and self-employed people without the use of a sponsor or an employer in the UAE. It also requires one to obtain a freelance or self-employment permit from the Ministry of Human Resources and Emiratisation. The minimum education level should be bachelor's degree or specialized diploma, and the annual income from self-employment for the previous 2 years should not be less than 360 AED, or the applicant provides a financial proof throughout his or her stay in the country. I hope this video helps you. I hope you find it very informative. If you did, please don't forget to give it a like and also subscribe to my channel for more informative videos. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Ciao.